Hello fellas, and welcome to another episode of your replays, and we got 3 again right here, and we're gonna obviously start off with the first one in the Object 268 right here. Now, this is a very good tank, and as you can see, using the HE is very good, obviously. Now, he's gonna play this tank very, very aggressively right here, so that's very nice. And obviously, that is what you can do with this tank, and, you know, sometimes you aim better. Now, if you want to send me your replays, then put them on my Discord server. There is a channel called Clips. You put the replays there, and please always describe them in a way and include the battle results, otherwise I won't have a look. So, as always, also don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's see. Now, it's going very aggressive here, which is very nice. Like me, some aggressive tank destroyer gameplay, and this is how you do it. You know, you don't want to be the first one in the chain, and you don't want to be the one that gets focused, but you want to be far ahead enough that you can still get the shots. And like that chieftain, he peeks out way too wide and way too much for his own good, and the enemy team has essentially just relinquished the win here. Because on this map, take the middle ridge. Take this ridge, because then you pretty much guarantee yourself a win already, unless your team throws away massively after that. You can't guarantee that always. Now, again, you know, 3 of the enemy team are already dead. 1 heavy is still camping behind. Some of them are trying to flank around, but that isn't going to help them that much in the end. Aiming does help, though. Aiming does help. But because the thing is, if you aim for 3 seconds and then shoot, you do damage. If you don't aim for 3 seconds, you reload for 20, or in this case 12, and then that's a lot worse. Now, obviously taking the shot at the Arctic, the enemy team is somewhat clawing the downside back, because obviously they were sort of flanking around, and you know, unless most Blitz players have you right in their vision, they can't actually see you. So if you're behind them, you don't exist to them, even if you shoot at them. So that's Blitz these days. And now obviously another very nice HE shot on the Leopard there. And the Leopard's like, you know, this is fine, I'll just go hump the E5 or something like that. And nice. Now obviously again, aim your shots. If you do a shot like this, then just use AP, because that's gonna pin, that's gonna do full damage. An HE shot like that, you're never gonna get full damage on that, especially if it's on the front of the Leo. So aim your shots, and also don't get close to a Leo, because if it gets around you, you're done, unless you have some very, very strong backup there, because it's a Leo. And the best way to avoid getting circled by a medium tank is to, well, not be alive, but the second best one is to simply back yourself up against a rock or a house or anything like that, so you can't get around you, and then you have a better angle of being able to do that. You can do the same thing in heavy tank. It's the most effective thing you can do there. And then obviously just straight up YOLO for him and take out the Thieves in heavy there. So very nice game there by Dennis. And now we're getting to the M60. This is going to be one of those games where just because it's high damage doesn't mean it was very good. So let's have a look. Obviously the M60 is a, well, this is a solid tank. It stopped doing that. So it is, that's like annoying already. It's gonna happen more often. So if you have any problems with like motion sickness, just skip this replay. And now we had an X50B here. The MX50B is pushing forward. The light tank is, I don't know if that's a bug or if he just, I don't know, got some weird ass hand jerking thing going on, you know, you just can't stop. I don't know, but yeah, just don't do that. Especially if it's a replay. Like if you do it for yourself, sure, but I don't. You still get one up. Anyway, now the light tank is camping, because that's what light tanks do, and apparently, no, light tanks are tank destroyers now, because they camp at the back of the map, or they're AFK. So there's that. Also, I am kind of grumpy today because I've been like up till 3 AM watching Le Mans, so there's that. Anyway. We're now going to sit here and basically wait for anything to happen, which is relatively a solid option that you can do, especially if you have a light tank that is completely and utterly incompetent and stupid. Then you don't really have that much option. You know the MX50B is there. You don't want to get 1200 damage shot from an AMX50B, so you don't want to push that unless he's unloaded, and he's doing that now. He is unloading now, so what you could technically do, if you would know that there are no tank destroyer behind him, you could push him and then back. You have 20 seconds to do damage. That's 3 shots, pretty much. You know, first 2 reloads, and now that's, he's probably reloading now, but then that is a bit too late. And now shooting at the hull of an AMX50B from the front is a very bad idea. Always shoot at the turret. See, if you get the tracks, that is great. But there we go. The MX-50B is already reloaded. And now, I wouldn't peek here because obviously that guy has shots. I would wait for the Actiga to do something, or that's not do. Mate, the entire turret's grey. Why just shoot at a turret? And then obviously peeking into a T-30. That's why I wouldn't peek there. And then again, shooting the lower plate for no reason. That's just unawareness basically. At that point, but you know, just if you have an MX-50B frontally, just shoot it in the turret. The hull is never going to pen. The hull is insanely strong on an MX-50B. But now, using HE, that is very strong. Otherwise, if that MX-50B wouldn't have bounced, you might have been dead there. So, that was good ammo usage there. And, yeah. What is that, mate? Are you, like, some kind of, like, you know, muscle memory from yanking your sausage too hard? What is that? But anyway. My guy. So, at this point, the ST-1 didn't pay attention. That's 3 damage right there. But now, you're at 800 HP, which is that kind of HP cutoff where I would play a bit more careful, right? Because you don't want to lose those, but peeking a T-30? Why not? So, now we're down to an absolute one-shot, which is obviously not great, especially in a 4v4 situation, because that means that essentially you have no room for errors whatsoever. And that T-30 is obviously is not the brightest cookie in the shed, but he is definitely still dangerous, especially with HE rounds on that T-30. 640 alpha damage AP at 900 on the HE. You can very easily shoot HE at the turret and kill you, so I wouldn't have peeked into it that aggressively. And now, the T-30 is getting shot from a teammate, and poof. And now, again, sitting in that position, that is exactly what I mean, as you can't allow yourself any mistakes, and that was a pretty big mistake, trying to sit there fighting the T-30 while being completely in the open towards any potential angle that is coming from the top. Now, it's obviously a WT, and that thing is very accurate, so you don't want to be sitting out in front of that in the open. It does only have the 128mm gun, so peeking like this can work, but if it had the 150, and that guy is somewhat semi-competent, they are going to fire HE, and you are going to die. So again, that's why you would ideally want to conserve some more hit points towards the end of the battle. And again, what are you doing? You're a one-shot. You're charging an E100 that has like 2,000 HP. Play it safely. Go to a spot where you can go hold down. And then from there, you can actually attack the guy properly. Because if you now push him like this, I mean, sure, you can get around him, but all he needs is one shot. And the M60 isn't that mobile. And as you can see right there, he's already on you. And he bounced. That was very unlucky for the E100 there. You should be dead by there a long time ago. And essentially, you also know the Sheridan is very low. And you don't want to do this. So now you're going to drop off again. Misplay. The E100 can just jump on you right there if he wants to. And then I would have gone just around the house, because that way the E100 can't catch you as quickly. And now the Sheridan is a one-shot, and the M60 is a one-shot, which obviously 6,000 damage already, which is very good. But the way it's been achieved is a bit more due to enemy incompetence than anything else. And now obviously the M Sheridan is right there, and the E100. Both are in the same firing line, right? So what you do here is you change position, right? Nope, you peek out straight into the E100 that's aiming at you. And that's how you lose the game. So, impatience was that. Don't do that. If the guy's aiming at you and you're a one-shot, why do you peek, mate? Just, man, just... Also, this is also going to be disappointing, but it's not. This is definitely going to be way more disappointing. That M60 game, it was pretty solid, but there were a lot of very clean new boy errors in there where you can see, like, maybe you're not the most experienced player in the game. So, I can definitely work on that. Work on your awareness, right? Like, peeking into an E100 when you're a one-shot is, like, not the best thing that you can do. Especially if you already missed... If you already just got lucky and he already bounced one shot. Now, we got into a Tiger here, and, I don't know, mate, if you're paying attention to my videos lately, but, I think there is something that is said about going to the city part or the bad part of a map, and it not being very good. But, I have seen it multiple times, even in sub-platoons, which are Saturdays, by the way, so if you want to play with me, then join on Saturdays. I've seen it multiple times where people just go city, right in front of my face, and I'm like, are you deaf, mate? So, yeah, not cool. Now, FE 301 I don't know what he's doing over here. He's not supposed to be here. He has the gun depression. He has the speed to get up into the most important position of this map, which is that kind of corner hole behind the A cap. But he decided not to do that, so he ain't the smartest, definitely. And now what we have here is we have the enemy team being actually intelligent, and they actually push the 2 light tanks, or one of the heavies, out. And now we are immediately at a disadvantage. Now, player disadvantage and position disadvantage. You know how that one ends in most of the cases, especially because now the heavies are stuck in the hell, in the hole of shame, basically. That's what I call that thing from now on. That warehouse is the hole of shame, because if you go in there, what are you doing? Now the Black Prince, he doesn't have a camo. He doesn't seem to be too smart. Obviously, he's pushing a Tiger. This is just free farm damage, basically. And this is another one of those games where you get high damage, but you get it at the wrong place, right? And I think games like this are the most misleading that you can get, because if you do high damage, you're like, hey, I did a good job. Yeah, but you did it in the wrong place. Because now what happens is you're, again, at a disadvantage. The enemy team has a massive map control advantage. Obviously, the Acti is just pushing in like crazy, and, you know, not with a lot of brain, you know, just pushing at the Tiger with no thinking. And he's not even penning the Tiger, so that's just a bit right there. But, yeah, and it just keeps not penning. And now we're down to 3 players, obviously, because the enemy team are just better. The enemy team is the better team here, because this team that a player is on, you know, you went city, you fucked it up. That's also, you're using a speed boost that you didn't use on a Tiger. Change that for a repair kit. It is way more useful, especially if you get double tracked. Especially if you take module damage. Tiger, German tanks especially, they really like to have their gearboxes knocked out. So definitely use 2 repair kits there. And now obviously you're on 1v4 because, well, your team imploded. And you were on the wrong side to be any impactful. And all they're going to do now is absolutely dogpile on you. And that is nothing you can do about that. Especially also because you're stuck in a position that you can't get out of in a Tiger. So with that said, YOLOing in tank stores works. Even if you do high damage, it doesn't mean you did great. Don't go city and don't over peak. That's the story of this video.